Hello and welcome. In today's show, we're going to be talking about my first Riptide that I've ever built. This is what it looks like at the end of the build, and that head on it is actually a bigger head. The one that comes with the Riptide is quite small, and I want to try testing out a bigger head. That's one of the Storm Surge variants, and I haven't glued it on. The shield I also haven't glued on yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, either leave the whole shield or do a different one. Anyways, let us jump into this. So how it's going to go is I set a timer here, and that's going to keep track of how long I spend on the Riptide. So this one took me about 7.5 hours, but I have two Riptides here. One is the Apocalypse box set, and one is just a regular Riptide that I bought off my friend. And so I'm going to jump here into the regular Riptide and get going on it. It comes with the instructions, of course. I won't be needing those at all, so we can just get rid of those. Get those out of here. We'll just do it on our... Okay, actually, never mind. Let me go grab the instructions. Let's get back into it.
Again with the sweatpants.
God, I'm comfortable.
You've got to love those dad sweatpants doing the old comfortable build there. In the box, there's the that sheet thingy and the flight stands. Okay, so as we get into the build, I'm going to start in the legs. So the legs come in a thigh portion and a calf portion. I built the thighs together, and then the calves I left in little pieces. The calves have a antenna that can be positioned, and the ankle joint can actually be positioned as well. And it's me, so I cut off that has rods in there that will anchor it for a pre-positioned look. And of course I cut those off and just go completely... I make it so that I choose where it points. And so with the calves, I didn't know what direction to point those yet because I didn't know how he was going to be standing. So I'm leaving those in pieces. Jumping into the torso. The torso has these two jetpacky thingies on the side, almost like intakes or something. And so they have a huge... They hook together on the top, and so there's a huge seam line that runs along the top that you have to glue together, and then once the glue dries, you can kind of scrape it off. That's kind of a big deal. As you can see here, I got the jetpacks going and the smart missile systems. About an hour and a half in, feeling good, doing the hands. Now, I haven't jumped into magnetizing yet, but I know that I need to magnetize these jetpacks before I glue them onto the body, or else I won't be able to reach where I want to, because I want to magnetize them on the inside, because I feel the model's already tall enough that I didn't want to put them on top of the jetpacks, because the jetpacks are also like super long. Anyways, back into it here. I'm gluing together the weapons, and so the big weapons are going together. There is a heavy burst cannon that is about 12 shots at 2 damage, and then there is an ion gun that is, I want to say, 6 shots at 3 damage. And so here I am drilling holes. I use my big old drill for this. This is a 1/4-inch drill bit and a 1/4-inch magnet. Now these are N35 magnets that I use. That's how you determine the strength of it. And I have N42s. That's a much stronger strength. On the magnet scale, between doing nothing and you can never pry this apart, I would say the 35 is kind of like a gentle touch magnet, and the N42 is kind of it's a pretty strong magnet. I haven't gone up to 50s yet. I know 52 is one you can buy, but I'm guessing that's got to be pretty strong. So just if you're going to do magnetization, just make sure you're using the right ones and that you're testing them out. So I've got the body made. You can see I'm actually doing this in segments. This isn't me sitting down all at once and doing this, because I found that while my family was sick and if I had like an hour here or an hour there, while I was taking care of my kids and stuff, I could just come start putting together some models and record myself doing it. So that's the reason for the setup for that. And I'm figuring out the legs here and gluing them together. So what I did is I have glued the legs in that position, and I get this pink foam. This is the start of how I'm going to position these legs. The feet are not glued onto the ankles, and as you can see here, I'm putting it back on a bunch of times. This is because I have an idea of where I want the legs to sit, and I need to figure out where the feet are going, and I need to figure out where how they're going to be angled on that pink foam. And so I'm going back and forth a lot, putting the model on it, taking it off, and I haven't glued anything yet. I'm dry fitting, is what you would call that, because I just need to make sure that I get it right. And so I sink a lot of time into this, and that's fine. And so when I finally glue it, I also got some rods, plastic rods, and stuck it down in there to help anchor the foot to the foam, because these are tiny feet on a rather large robot model. For the weight of robot to ankle ratio is definitely a little out of whack, but I mean, they have giant jetpacks, so really they're supposed to be flying around anyway. They are nimble on their feet, you might say. So here I am trying to figure out the positioning of the torso and the arm. Now this arm, I had to kind of chop the shoulder a bit to get it to angle at the direction that I wanted it to. And so once I figured out what I wanted it to do, and I had it all magnetized, I was able to glue the arm on, and I glued the body there and just kind of letting it sit and get in a position where it's solid. And then let's see, what am I doing here? I'm magnetizing. I think I ran into issues with one of those guns magnetizing, where I was trying to put a little magnet into a hole that I had created, but the hole went all the way through the plastic and the magnet would slide through. So I have one gun, I think it's the Heavy Burst, that has like 5 little magnets on the inside, because they kept falling into it because there was another magnet on the inside that was pulling it in too. So once I finally get the gun figured out and I angle it there, I set it up and let it dry that way. And so the next time I come and work on this, I am back to working on the next arm, and I'm almost done. As you can see though, I have not glued the foam onto the base yet. So what I did is I'm using that tacky glue. Now that's a clear tacky glue. I've had that for a while, and I ran out of my other regular, it's like the other tacky glue is white, that one's clear. I had ran out of my other one, so I tested out this one. I don't like it as much as the white, so I'm not going to use it anymore. I'm going to replace it with some white. But basically what I do is I get the feet figured out, I glue it all down, and then not until the very end do I really glue it onto the base, because then I can figure out where is the body going to be that it kind of feels natural sitting above the base. I don't want to glue the legs down too early to the base and then figure out that the body's going to hang way over on one side of it. And I use that on small models as well as these big ones. Just that idea in general is sometimes good if your model's going to be moving in a different way. And so there I am. I've got my other tacky glue now. It's a big container, but it's the white glue. And just reaching the end here of the build. And then finally is the cleanup. This is very important as well. It felt really good after making my table like super dirty to come back and just clean it all up and get ready for the next build. So that's as far as I've gotten. Again, I'm going to have to make decisions on the head and the shield, but that's my first one. That was about 7.5 hours, like I said, and I will jump into the next couple Riptides that I'm going to build, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good one.